What's good? We back with the Box Clinic and more. Your boy CJ Goodfella. Speaking on how Mikey Garcia stacks up against Regis, Terence, Crawford, Lomachenko, Errol, Spence. We back. And last night I already talked about the review for Lebanese and Mikey. If you ain't seen it, it's the last video I just did. But I'll just give a little piece on that. I feel Mikey did a good job. Mikey is great fundamental, great technique. I think he's lacking in a few different departments as far as speed, power, and defense. I think his defense is just average at best, and I think I'm being nice saying it's average. I think him moving up in weight is going to be like the best he can hope for, and this is legendary shit, is Marquez. I think he can be a little bit better than Marquez, as a matter of fact. I think because he's a little bit naturally physically bigger than Marquez. I think he does some things better than Marquez does. And he has that same mind that Marquez has. Marquez is very smart. He has an accountant. He has a master's degree in accounting. And Mikey is very smart. He already went through the police academy as his backup plan if boxing didn't work. So, I think that's kind of how he's going to be moving up. The difference is the competition that he's going to be fighting at 140 and 147 is a lot stiffer than what, Marquez had to deal with outside of Pacquiao. And I think that's what's going to probably take him to being one of the most, best Mexican fighters or Mexican-American fighters ever. Is if you can get through this murderous row of opponents that's at 140 and 147, even 135, But I don't know how he's going to translate versus certain fighters because, technique and fundamentals will take you so far. And Bernard Hopkins showed that, Floyd showed that, several fighters showed that over the course of time. But you got to have either a superior mind, superior defense to really take you over the top, or some athletic ability. And Floyd was the exception probably, because he had the total package. At one point in his career, he was quick, fast, strong, powerful, and he had it. You know what I'm saying? Even moving up to 140 and 147, he had it. He was always defensive minded, But he had those punches, that right hand, left hook, left hand, right hand combination. His IQ was superior, and he had the athletic ability to go with it. He was a great defensive fighter. Mikey Garcia is missing defense, great athletic ability, and some pop. And I think ultimately that may be his downfall. You talk about him versus Regis Prograis. The reason that I favor him over Prograis is the simple fact that Prograis don't have that experience. We see Dimitri Bivol, it didn't matter for him. He jumped that experience line. He beat Barrera. Can I see Regis beating Mikey Garcia? Absolutely. Especially if he wins his WBC 140-pound title, which he had to fight the winner of Amir Mahmoud, Jose Ramirez next, which, won't be easy if it's Jose Ramirez, in my opinion. It'll be a good fight. Ramirez is tough. Power punching guy come forward. That might be a fight of the year. Prograis versus Ramirez, but that is another top-ranked fighter that may pull out. Bob Aaron's already talking about Ramirez. He want him to fight Pacquiao. That's a story for another day about Pacquiao and Bob Aaron, what they're going through. I'll do another video later on. But, the longer, certain Mikey Garcia waits for certain guys, the more difficult it's going to be at 140, which I'll do another video on how he how 140 is looking later on. But Prograis is different. Ruguru is definitely a different beast. Most people think he's rugged, and he has some amateurs. I don't want to say amateurs, but he has some, he has some, he has some issues, some holes in his game, but that's expected. But he's a pressure fighter that has the mind of a pressure fighter, and that's dangerous. He knows what he is. He knows his limitations. He got a lot of speed. I think sometimes his upper body movement is exaggerated and get him out of position sometimes. But he punches. Can Mikey Garcia take that punch? Really, can he take that punch for, at least the first 4, 5, 6 rounds? Because we haven't seen Prograis really go the full distance to 10. I think he went 8 a few times. But 10, 12, we'll see. We'll see. And Mikey gets hit extremely a lot and extremely flush. And the way that Prograis left hand, or both hands popping, I can see hitting on Prograis, knocking Mikey Garcia the fuck out. The longer he waits for that fight to happen, the harder it's going to be on Mikey Garcia, in my opinion. Especially going down to 35 and then come back up to 140. He making it very, very difficult on himself weight-wise, But I slightly favor him off of Prograis just based on, experiences. But the longer he waits, the harder that fight's going to be. You talk about him versus Lomachenko going back down to 135 potentially, which ain't going to happen. Because Lomachenko and Linares may fight. So that means Roberts Jr. was at the fight last night. Mikey going to fight Roberts Jr. And that's going to be an easy title for him to pick up. But you know, him and Lomachenko is a difficult fight for me to see, man. Lomachenko is just the polar opposite of pretty much Mikey Garcia. He's quick, he's fast, he's agile, he's a mover, a good leg mover, good head mover. Mikey is going to have to do what Orlando Salido did, be tough and race angles and close distance on him and make it rough. Left hook to the body, which he threw beautiful versus Adrian Broner a couple times. Left hook to the head. It's going to have to be him really being a pressure fighter, which he has the versatility to do, and use his physical attributes and his physical strength to bully Vasily Lomachenko around the ring and really push him back. Lomachenko is good coming forward, but just like a lot of Eastern European or European fighters, he don't go good going backwards. So with Mikey Garcia having an advantage of probably range and height and physical strength, I'm not sure about the range. I think height, yeah, he's bigger. Range and height, he's bigger and longer. But if he's able to push Lomachenko back and go to his body, I think Mikey Garcia's fundamentals and technique is going to take him over the top versus Lomachenko. I favor him slightly over Lomachenko, but that can go either way. Lomachenko is very, very fluid and elusive, but I think Mikey is just maybe too big and physically strong for him. Usually Lomachenko enjoys the life, size, and height and length advantage that he won't have, and he's fighting somebody who's a technical and fundamental marvel, Mikey Garcia, that may be a little bit hard for him to deal with. But would it shock me if Lomachenko beat him? Absolutely not. It wouldn't shock me one bit. But I just think Mikey, I think he knows what to do with Lomachenko. I think, thinking about it, I think he can close the distance on Lomachenko, put him on the back foot, make it a nasty, rough fight, and I think he might end up stopping that man late in that fight, in my opinion. That's just my opinion on it now, but going down to 35 could put some strain on his body, but he said he feels more comfortable at 35, but this was a guy before the original Lipinets camp for February 10th who was walking around at 170-plus pounds. So that just give you an idea, if Orlando Salido, was too big and strong, he missed weight for Lomachenko. Right now, with his potentially his first or second fight at 135 for Lomachenko, I just think it's too much for him right now. Now to get into the big dog shit, you feel me? Talking about, Mikey versus Terence Crawford, to me, this is no comparison. Crawford will obliterate Mikey Garcia. I don't even think it will be competitive, outside a few rounds. I think Terence Crawford is just too good for Mikey Garcia. I think whatever Mikey brings to the table, Terence Crawford brings it tenfold. I don't see it's nothing that, especially at 147, even though I haven't seen Crawford fight at 147, I don't think Mikey Garcia got shit for Terence Crawford, to be real. I don't think he's going to knock Bud out. I don't think, technically, he may be technically better and fundamentally more sound than Terence Crawford, especially with hand placement and positioning, but Crawford, he got speed and power, and he got defense in his game. Those are three things that he got in his game. And you can make an argument that he's a better technical fighter than Mikey Garcia. It depends on which side of the pendulum you're looking for. What view from the six you looking for, you feel me? Crawford is longer, taller, faster. I just think Crawford would just punish Mikey Garcia. Like he said, it's more than one way to skin that cat. That's what it's responding to Mikey Garcia. And Crawford is definitely punching. He punching hard. This ain't the amateurs, or this ain't the sparring session they had where Mikey Garcia referred him to Cameron Duncan, who is the Al Heyman of, basically of Top Rank. He's the manager of choice for most of their fighters over there. Bud is just too much. I mean, I could tell you, I could speak on this for 20 minutes about why Bud will wash Mikey Garcia up. His movement, whatever Mikey does, Terence Crawford does it better, period. It's not even a question. It's not even up for debate, in my opinion. The dude is taller, longer, bigger, faster, stronger, better defensively. His footwork is better. Mikey might, be in position and be more poised in position, but that's okay. Could Mikey beat him? Yeah, it's boxing. Anything can happen. But do I really see it happening? Absolutely not. I think it's in the single-digit percentiles. I think percents that Mikey beat him. I think 9% is maybe, I'm thinking more 5%. That's how dominant I believe Terence Crawford is. That's the style matchup that I think that Crawford would just do to him. I think it would be child abuse in the first degree if they put them together right now, especially at 147. At 140, maybe then I move up my percentages, but Crawford ain't at 140 no more. If Mikey Garcia, to get off topic, is going to enter the realm of 147, he got to understand what he's going into. He's going. I don't know what he's going to have to bring to the table. Honestly, man. Honestly, I don't know. Before I get to the last fighter, I just don't see. Sean Porter be a tough fight for him. You know, Keith would be a tough fight for him. Danny would be a tough fight for him. Even though he beat Danny in the amateurs, and they talking about this amateur shit. We talking about real boxing pro shit. You know, there's a lot of guys up there that's going to be difficult for him to deal with at that weight division. Jesse Vargas would be difficult to deal with. But I'm talking about Mikey versus Errol Spence. Yeah. He would have to outbox Errol Spence. And you probably think I'm going to call me crazy. I think he had a better chance of beating Errol Spence than Terence Crawford. Because Errol can be outboxed. He comes forward. He gives you more opportunity. You know, he going to be in your face, so you're going to have opportunities to score, okay? Crawford is going to just, you know, do what he going to outbox. I'm not saying that Crawford better than Errol Spence. It's just his style we talking about. Crawford is be able to box you and hit, not get hit. And then you want to, like Felix Diaz, you start taking chances, and you get knocked out. With Errol will give you opportunity to think something there and box for a minute, and you get in your zone, you pick. But now the development of Errol Smith's jab, you know, you're not going to have that luxury too much longer. That jab keep improving. Mikey will box good for a few rounds, but the pressure, the body shots, the uppercut, the left hook, the right hook, him wearing you down on you. I mean, Crawford will punish Mikey for about 8-9 rounds before he drowns him. Errol Spence, they might not make it for the 5th round, you know. But there's opportunities there for you to box, similar like Amir Khan and what he did with Canelo. He looked good. And then, you know, it's kind of like Canelo and Errol can hit that switch and it's lights out. And they make an adjustment like, you know, Errol did with Kell Brook. And he turned on the hot water and he started burning and drowning your ass at the same time. And then you hollering and screaming for your brother to throw the towel in. You feel me? So, you know, we got two guys that I favor him to beat in Lomachenko and Prograis that can go either way in my opinion. But I favor Mikey to beat him. You got two guys I think he has no chance against versus Terence and Errol Spence. We gonna gonna jump into the next video talking about the 140-pound division, how everybody stacks up. I guess the relic guy got revenge on Rancis Bartholomew. It's been a bad year for Cuban fighters, and in a few weeks, you know, Arizona Laura gonna have to try to end the Cuban curse. Last night he was sitting next to Jermell and Jamal Charlo, so he got a big fight coming up with Jared Swift Hurd, and we'll see how he does in that fight, you know. But yeah, you know, other than that, Mikey, you know, he gonna move the right way. Trust me. You know, Robert Jr. is probably gonna be next. He gonna continue to move the right way. I don't see him beating anybody at 147. That's a prominence. Probably the one guy he can't beat is probably Jesse Vargas. Maybe Danny Garcia is the two. You know, Sean Porter is a difficult fight just because of the style he brings. But we'll see. He wants to dare to be great. And we'll see. He got animals and he got animals in his own division. We're gonna talk about that at 135 and 140 that he gonna have to have difficulties getting over with. You know, it ain't no cakewalk for him if he really truly wants to show that he's the best at 35 or 140 pounds. You know, he worried about 47, but he should be worried about what's waiting for him at 140 and 135 respectively. And I don't think he as good as people hyping him up to be. You know, I knew he'd be Broner. I was a big fan of him, but when at 140, he disappointed me versus Broner from what I seen. Even though it was a good fight, last night was a good fight. He looked better. He trumped my expectations last night. He looked more faster. He looked stronger, but I still don't think it's enough for him to get ready to go to 47 or to really be on that takeover shit. But it is what it is.